9-year-old boy. His name's Shout, and I have a 6-year-old girl. Her name's Music. 14 years ago, God had already shown me I didn't have a father. I did, but he died a month before I was born. But God had already shown me before I even had kids what my parenting would look like, and it was really cool because I didn't have that model. But he does what he does, and he showed it to me what it would look like, and it looks exactly like it does now. God always put like rams in the bush, if you will. And my grandfather, he was always there. He was a pastor of 30 years. He'd always put people in my life. There was a guy at the boys club who was kind of like a father figure in that he would come around maybe like once or twice a month. But when he did come around, it was like it lasted an eternity. The most difficult part is knowing that every decision you make will affect your son and your daughter. Give it everything you got, and God will give it back to you. Just do that. Trust Him and give everything that you got. And happy Father's Day.
I've been very fortunate. A lot of guys will talk to you about not having father around, but today, my father's still an active part of my life and always has been. So the first thing I got from my father was to understand that you had to be there and to be active and participate in what your kids are doing. My father really believed in respect and demanded respect, expected respect, and so that's been a real core that's carried on for me. One of the toughest pieces that I think you deal with as a father is when you let them go, and that they have to make those decisions on their own, that they really are now charged with making decisions, being on their own. And as the father of a young woman, it's just not understanding all the things that are going on in the world and praying that your daughter comes in contact with godly men that are not going to take advantage of her, that she won't be in situations where she will be compromised. As a father of a young black male, getting him to understand the freedom that he has right now, but yet respecting some of the challenges that are still in the world, to not live under the burden of what's being a black male meant 40, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, but really still then appreciating that while he's got freedom today, that there are still some things that he's got to be aware of. I think there's always a role and a time for us to guide, but I think as they move to maturity, you have to start to release the reins. So I now deal with Andrea far differently than I deal with Jordan, because she's now at a time where essentially for 8 to 10 months out of the year, she's no longer at home. So when I reach out to her when she's away, it's about dad guiding, not so much directing anymore, because she's making hundreds of choices every day all on her own. And I have to trust the work that we've done before. I have to continue to lean on prayer and believe that the Holy Spirit and God's going to guide her. Hey, brothers, to all of you, I just say happy Father's Day. God bless you. Have a great Father's Day. Make a difference in your kids' lives.
I grew up in a 7-person household, 2 parents and 5 children. My dad was the uncompromising ruler of our home. He ruled our house like a king. He was just a devout Christian man who loved God, loved his family. And although he ruled our house as the king of our home, he treated my mom like a queen. I never knew what it was like as growing up as a child to ever wonder about the whereabouts of my father, because we always knew that my dad was either at work, at church, helping one of his family members, his sisters or brothers who lived in Colombia, or he was on his way home or at home. To a great degree, I grew up with bitterness, anger in me, because I did not like the amount of control that my father had in my life. I think that's typical of any child. You want to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Knowing more about myself now at the age of 43, I really do think that I would have gotten into a lot of trouble as a child had my dad not been there. Being the only male in a 4-person household is heaven at times, and it is hell at times. I get treated with a lot of special care and attention being in a house with three ladies. There are times when there's so much noise and talking and emotional, so much emotion going on in my house that it's almost too much for me to handle, and I'll go in the room and just close the door. To all the fathers, I want to wish you the most blessed, most joyful Father's Day you've ever had. I pray that God will bless you, give you incredible wisdom, knowledge, understanding, strength, courage, perseverance, all those things, so that you can model greatness before your children. You can teach them greatness with integrity, and you can be there for them come no matter what happens in your life. You can be there for your children. Giselle will be 40 before she dates.
Okay,
She'll be in non-school before then.